Vanakkam. I said
Hi,
I have a
Ramesh.
strong association.
Hi, Raghunathan.
How are you?
All well, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
My wife is from Chennai, actually.
Oh,
So,
okay.
My boss is from Chennai, in other words.
Okay.
That makes it easier.
I think Vanita Datla Garu is also here. Vanita Datla Garu, the speakers are here, and Ramesh and Chandrasekhar Garu.
Hello to everybody.
Yeah, we are live on
Program
Facebook.
is live.
I'll start.
Yes, Geeta, go ahead, starting.
A very good evening. On behalf of Hyderabad Management Association and Business Standard, I deem it an honor and a privilege to welcome our President, Ms. Kavita Rajesh, Secretary, Dr. Ravi Kumar Jain, Convener of MSME, Mr. Rajendra Krishna Prasad Peddi, our Vice President, Mr. V. Ramchandar, MC members, and all those who are here on this platform as well as who are viewing us live. And I also welcome our well-known speakers for today, Mr. D. Chandrasekhar, who is the Director, DI MSME Hyderabad, Ms. Ms. Vanita Datla, Vice Chairman and MD Elico Limited, Mr. K. E. Raghunathan, Convener Consortium of Indian Association and former President of All India Manufacturers Association, Mr. P. Ramesh, CMD, Balaji Pressure Vessels Private Limited, and our moderator from Business Standard, Mr. Vinay Umarji. With this, I hand the floor to Ms. Kavita Rajesh to take this forward.
Thank you, Geeta, and a very warm welcome to the distinguished guests. And it's an honor to have you all, sir. Hyderabad Management Association welcomes Chandrasekhar Garu, Director at MSME, and Raghunathan Garu, for the convener and consortium of Indian Association and former president of All India Management Organization. And our speakers for the day, Vanita Datla Garu, Vice Chairperson and MD Elico, and P. Ramesh Kumar Garu, CMD, Balaji Pressure Vessels and Private Limited. Thank you, sir. To talk about the Hyderabad Management Association was conceptualized 56 years ago, sir, in the year 1964 by dozens dedicated young managers of the twin cities of Hyderabad and Secunderabad, who felt the need for developing managerial skills among young executives and spread the message of professionalism among the practicing managers with involvement of academia and industry. So Hyderabad Management Association provides a platform for professionals, academicians, management, students to stay abreast of contemporary management practices and even shaping the professionals and its emerging challenges. It does plethora of activities. It undertakes in the context of evening lecture meetings, training programs, panel discussions similar to like this one we are having, seminars, convention, quiz programs, management and faculty and student development programs. And we also have one of the flagship program called Industry Readiness Program. It is a connect between the academician and industry. We connect the missing links and we give appropriate skills to the students required on soft skills required. And this year and we are also adding a certificate program in partnership with business schools, and All India Management Association is associated with IMA, New Delhi. IMA associates with HMF for conducting regular joint programs at Hyderabad. This year we have signed an MOU with Krishna Prasad Foundation for MSME and Entrepreneur Desk with give consultancies to MSMEs units. Our lead banker SBI is ready to finance the MSME sector if they need their funds for scaling up their industries also. And we started new initiations at HMA, like opening an international desk and social impact desk. And we want to create awareness on MSMEs across internationally also through this desk. We are connecting with the various consulates. And I would request Chandrasekhar Garu for handholding support through this journey of ours. Sir, thank you for accepting our invite and being here. And I request our moderator, Raghunathan Garu to please take over and proceed. Thank you, sir. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, it gives us a great pleasure in welcoming Hyderabad Management Association members to the Business Standard Smart Business event. We are glad to associate with HMA for this event. And Business Standard is, preferred among serious readers of financial content in India for 45 years now. And we are very thankful to our readers like you, for this recognition as a quality leader and for appreciating our editorial integrity, which is maintained by India's best of financial journalists and eminent contributors. And we've always tried to give relevant and actionable content to our readers in the newspaper and at events like these that bring industry and policy makers together. And that brings us to the Smart Business event today, which we are organizing with HMA. Business Standard often organizes discussions that tap into the collective wisdom of decision makers and influencers of business and economy. And it is here that Smart Business is such an event series where we work with industry bodies and trade associations at a local level and get a perspective on specific issues that are of concern to them. The platform hosts different voices related to the topic to get an all around view. More than 250 Smart Business events have been organized by Business Standard, and the journey continues. And as part of that journey, we are here today to listen from four esteemed panelists, each of whom bring their unique experiences and perspectives to the topic before us today. First of all, we have with us today Shri D. Chandrasekhar. He's the Additional Industrial Advisor and former Director of MSME Development Institute, Hyderabad. Chandrasekhar sir brings with him over 3 decades of experience working in and with the MSME sector, especially from the government standpoint. So he has immensely contributed to various promotional activities of MSME sector in chemical, food, and allied industries. Mr. Chandrasekhar has not only worked as Director of MSME DI in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, but also in states like Karnataka and Gujarat during 2012 to 2015, thereby accumulating multi-state experience that MSMEs in and around Hyderabad could benefit from today. We also have with us on the panel Mr. K.E. Raghunathan, who is fondly known as MSME Raghu for his passion and burden for the MSMEs across the country. A self-employed entrepreneur since nearly 4 decades, now in the field of solar power, Mr. Raghunathan has championed the cause of the MSME sector as the former president of All India Manufacturers Organization, AIMO, and now as the convener of the Confederation of Indian Associations. His ability to survey grassroots problems and voicing them out before government and industry alike is well known, such as his survey on the impact of demonetization being one of the first such surveys being conducted nationwide and quoted even in the parliament. So we welcome you, sir. It is also our privilege to welcome Ms. Vanita Datla as the Vice Chairman and Managing Director of Elico Limited and Managing Director of Elico Healthcare Services. Ms. Datla brings with her 2.5 decades of experience across diverse sectors such as financial services, insurance services, cement, power, security printing, instrumentation, and BPO services, with stints in the US and India. A former chairperson of the Confederation of Indian Industry CII Telangana from 2014 to 2016, Ms. Datla is an inspiration for all women in the MSME sector, having been conferred with the Super Women of the Decade 2010 to 2020 award by HI9 Hyderabad. Welcome, ma'am. Thanks for having being with us. Finally, our fourth, but not the least, but an esteemed panelist today is Mr. P. Ramesh Kumar, CMD of Balaji Pressure Vessels Private Limited. You know what sets Mr. Ramesh Kumar apart is the innovation and creativity that he brings to his work as part of a group that is diversified presence in various areas, including distribution transformers, cylinders, water pumps, chemicals, disinfectants, and all. So much so that Mr. Ramesh has been instrumental in introducing various techniques in manufacturing of LPG cylinders, which resulted in savings of over millions of dollars to the entire industry. Mr. Ramesh Kumar is also associated with various industry, trade, and non-governmental organizations. He is the functional committee chairman of the Engineering Export Promotion Council and was instrumental in setting up the EEPC office in Hyderabad to meet the needs of exporters in Hyderabad. We welcome you, sir, as well. Thank you so much for being with us. So as you're all aware, we'll directly get into the topic today. The topic for today's webinar is how to protect MSMEs in this pandemic situation and sustain. We are all, there's not one single person in this webinar today who's not affected by the pandemic, but we are specifically looking at the MSMEs. What are the unique problems and challenges that the MSMEs have been facing? They've been facing it even before the pandemic, but there is something that the pandemic has uniquely impacted all the MSMEs around us. But what are these challenges that have aggravated this situation because of the pandemic? And not just that, what has happened, that's okay. But now that the pandemic is over, and I mean, hopefully the third wave will be short and will not have as much impact as the second wave had, but all the lockdowns behind us, how should the MSMEs now protect themselves from further damage? How do they not only protect themselves, but how do they now go on to sustain and achieve sustainable long-term growth, so that there are some lessons that are applied in a way that we don't repeat the impact that the crisis has had so far on the MSMEs. And with that as the backdrop, I would now invite each of our speakers, all four speakers, to take 5 minutes each to share their overarching views before we get into the specific questions, and then open it up for the Q&A, because frankly speaking, I don't want to be between the members, HMA members, the audience, and the panelists, because they would have some very specific questions to ask them as well. So before doing that, I would like Chandrasekhar Garu sir to begin his address of 5 minutes, talking overall about how the MSMEs have been impacted, how can they be protected, and how can they grow. Followed by Mr. Ramesh Kumar, followed by Ms. Vanita Datla, and finally Mr. K.E. Raghunathan. Yeah, over to you, sir.
Thanks, Vinayji, for the brief introduction about this seminar. First of all, I must congratulate and give compliments to Hyderabad Management Association and as well as Business Standard for taking this initiative and organizing this program, how to protect MSMEs in this pandemic situation and sustenance. I'm really very happy to associate in this program, and we have been organizing this kind of programs for the past several months in the state, and we have joined with many associations also, mainly to create awareness about the various MSME schemes and incentive mechanism announced by government in the recent time and in this pandemic situation. And this program is really useful to MSMEs and to tide over from this pandemic situation. Before going into specifics, I would like to give a brief introduction about our ministry. We must be knowing Ministry of MSME, Government of India, which is the administrative ministry as far as MSMEs are concerned. MSME ministry basically makes policies and programs for the development of MSMEs and also fosters the entrepreneurship and assists the state governments in implementation of various schemes. Ministry basically, it was earlier known as a small scale industries ministry, you must be knowing, and two ministries, Ministry of Small Scale Industries and the Ministry of Agro and Rural Industries, have been merged, and after the enactment of MSME Act in 2006, the new ministry has been created. You must be knowing this, Ministry of Micro, Small, Medium Enterprises. And MSME Act, as you all know, it is a Bible to MSME, because earlier the issues related to MSMEs are dealt in IDR Act. Now, with the enactment of MSME Act, the MSMEs are brought under legal framework. Earlier, all these issues are dealt with different laws. Now, under MSME Act, there are so many provisions within the Act. The Act gives a definition. You must be aware recently under the Atmanirbhar Bharat, definition of the MSMEs has been revised, and the composite definition has been given. Earlier the definition is based on the investment in plant and machinery, and last 40-50 years the definition is based on only investment limit in plant and machinery. Now the composite criteria, turnover is also brought into picture. now as per the investment limits have been increased drastically. I mean, it was increased 10 times actually. I mean, as per the present definition, micro enterprises are known as having investment in plant and machinery up to 1 crore and turnover up to 5 crores. And small industries, investment up to 10 crores and turnover up to 50 crores. Similarly, medium enterprises, investment up to 50 crores and turnover up to 250 crores. This is a broad definition. With the enhancement of this investment limits and also turnover, there was a scope for infusion of investments in the MSME sector. Earlier, MSMEs with the definition having small limits, MSMEs were facing difficulty in accessing technology and as well as even the investments also. Now, with investment limits increased, definitely a lot of funds flow will be there. And coming to functioning of the ministry operates through a network of field formations known as MSME Development Institute. I belong to MSME Development Institute. I am heading MSME Hyderabad, having jurisdiction of entire Telangana state. Then there are 30 MSME DIs and 30 branch institutions also. Then we are under administrative control of Development Commissioner, MSME, which is the attached office of the ministry. Then we have KVSC, Khadi Village Industries Commission, and we have COIR Board, we have NSSC, and we have technology centers. There are 18 technology centers operating across length and breadth of the country. Another 20 technology centers are under implementation with the World Bank assistance. Then if you take, size of the ministry, it's very huge in terms of the number of field formations. Our offices are located across India, starting from Jammu Kashmir to Port Blair, we'll find MSME office, and again entire Northeast state. And total in terms of size, definitely we are probably with our ministry largest after income tax and central excise. We have our own offices, and every offices within the ministry is having separate mandate to promote entrepreneurship. MSMEDA implement a few schemes of the ministry, and we are also into training, and we promote entrepreneurship by conducting entrepreneurship development programs and skill development programs. Like that, technical centers, they conduct skill development programs in emerging areas. Then KVS, they have separate mandate to promote the Khadi, and NSSC, they implement marketing schemes as well as they also facilitate in finance. And COIR Board is having mandate to promote coir industries. This is a total complete setup of the Ministry of MSME, and I would like to explain about the other schemes in the due course of time. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks a lot. Over to you, ma'am. Yeah.
I think Ramesh needs to speak first.
Yeah,
Or should
Mr.
I go
Ramesh,
ahead?
sir. Yeah, Mr. Ramesh. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Vinay, for the chance for me to share my views. Rather than speak, I will say more sharing of my views than anything else as such. My background of where I come from, I'll make it very, very brief. I'm a mechanical engineer who did a master's in business administration in US. I taught economics for almost a year there. Then I came back here, and before that I worked for a small period in a bigger bank in the US. So that's my background, a mechanical engineer who did his MBA, worked in a bank, taught economics, and running a small scale industry in India. That's what I am. Okay. Now, so whatever I say will be with a background of a little bit of each of this. I normally, like everybody else, will base a lot of thought on history. We look at a lot of history and say how things have happened in the past to decide on what to do for the future. Unfortunately, this is my first pandemic. I am over 55 years old, and this is the first pandemic that I am seeing. But I have read about a lot of pandemics before. And having taught economics, I was more prepared for a pandemic that is going to last more than 3 to 5 years. Okay, because I don't know of any pandemic that has lasted 6 months or 1 year. Yes, it has had an impact on the entire world, but this pandemic is very, very different. It has got a V-retrieval curve. If you look at our GDP figures and the profitability of companies, the growth of companies, the stock market, or anything else that you see, you can see a phenomenal recovery. No pandemic has ever shown this kind of recovery ever. You can see the US market, Europe market, Indian market, or anything else as such. Now, always is to think why this is happening. Because history, it has never happened in such a way that recovery has taken place at such a quick pace. Then I realized technology of this kind was not available at that time. The ability of knowledge spreading was not possible in the earlier days. Nowadays, information is available quicker, faster, and easier, and for everyone with equal amount of speed. Like today, we would know the price of steel in US market, as well as what the price in Raniganj, Secunderabad is, just on the click of a web, which was not possible earlier. So with this, people are more prepared and actually moving much, much faster as such. Now, coming specifically to what MSMEs should do as such, and what is happening in the present policy as such. Now, what can be done for an organization to become strong and prepare? It's not like a Covishield or Covaxin vaccine which can be given to everybody and it will work. Every organization is different. A manufacturing sector is different. A service sector is different. A service sector that is related with hospitals is very different from a service sector which is related to travel. One of the things that happened was the policy was given uniformly across everybody. I was working with Central Bank of India. I needed money because the cost of my raw materials shot up by 250%, which is unbelievable. Whereas my banker was running after a hospital which didn't need money, asking them to expand. A hospital has more than 100 crores of limits, but he is giving them another 70 crores, but he is not willing to enhance my limit by 60%. Even when I went forward and told him, look, the raw material cost have gone up by 100%. So existing limits will not suffice. Please help us. He said, no, the policy is this, we are only giving 30% for everybody. And we are giving special benefits to hospitals and pharmaceuticals who can expand as much as they want. And it's so unfortunate, at least for me and the banker also, that I know the hospital CMD very well. Hospital CMD was saying, I have deposited 18 crores in the bank, I don't want money. Because he was overfull and there was already enough money in it. But unfortunately, our policy was very different. We had one uniform policy for everybody. In this kind of a policy, what has happened is the strong became much more stronger because a lot more liquidity was available to them. They started using that liquidity for many other purposes, apart from increasing the demand as such. And that is precisely the reason why we see so much of inflation happening everywhere. Not really agree with me, but the fact is every organization is different and requires different kind of support. We have to be fair, not equal. There's a lot of difference between being fair and equal. Here, the policy was you're applying an equal law to everybody. It doesn't really help as much because not everybody has suffered the same. It takes a little bit of study to sit down and understand what kind of industry needs more support, what kind of industry does not require support, what kind of industry needs legislation support, what kind of industry needs monetary support. So this is exactly the area where we have really not gone forward as such. That has been my experience as far as the policy and industry and pandemic is concerned. Again, I'll keep one thing very, very short about what SMBs have to do to protect themselves in such kind of pandemics in the future. After that, I'll be open to all questions and answers, and I will try to give my best answer. Most important thing, please adapt yourself to all the technology possible. Devote at least half a day in a week to understand how you can incorporate technology. This pandemic, one of the things that it has brought about is we have catapulted ourselves by about 6 to 10 years in usage of technology. I never used GPay before, but I have to do it. I never was a fan of internet banking or anything as such, because getting back some money that was debited wrongly used to take ages. It still does. But now I am forced to. And more than anything else, being aware of what is happening at different places also should be done, especially particularly raw material prices, market changes, sensitivities. And the most important thing that people should be aware of is the amount of money government is putting in the market and the amount of money government is taking out of the market. Because the more money it is putting in, please understand that it is causing inflation. So you are far better off stocking more and more raw material and passing on a higher price to the customer. Instead of having a 15-day stock, plan for a 1.5 month stock. Because month on month, the price of raw material is going up. Why is this happening? Because there is not shortage of raw material, but excess supply of money available. And those people who have higher access to money are paying premiums and pushing it forward and taking it up. On that. 2, try to reduce outside borrowings. Please restrict yourself to borrowings from bank, which at present are probably offering the lowest possible interest rates ever. I have not seen lower borrowing interest rates in the last 35 years of my experience of borrowing. Please restrict your borrowing to bank borrowings only, which are much more flexible. Leverage all your fixed assets, including personal assets, and take only from bank borrowings, where costs of borrowing are less than 10% today, far less than 10%. 3, most important, is be very careful who you are selling to. Because we have no idea how the pandemic is affecting our customer. Look at their finances closely. Only if you are assured that you're going to give a payment, please go forward and do it, because we don't know when people will fold. It's a fact, it has not impacted everyone equally. And most important, if you are dealing with public sector undertakings, be even more careful, because you don't know when what will get privatized. And then whatever you may be expecting may not actually happen as your market research. This is as far as my suggestion to SMEs are concerned. These are the areas that you should work on. And one very personal thing as such for all the SMEs. I think only about 30 to 40% of the SME sectors, people have started work out of passion for being there. People have started because they want to make money. I do not want to say anything else. It's only because they want to make money. But what happens in terms of inflation times is we see all other industries making money. Like out of my friends, out of the 10 people who are in SME sector, 7 to 8 of them are now in real estate. They have stopped wanting to invest anymore in the business, because the kind of returns that they are seeing there are at least about 3 to 5 times higher than any other industry that is possible. People are forgetting that it is because of inflation. But the fact is, inflation is here. So stop comparing yourself to industry as such, and now start becoming more passionate towards your own thing. Because on the time you start comparing, you will move out of your existing manufacturing and start doing something else. You will want to say, "Arey, my uncle has invested only 10 lakhs in the stock market. Today his stock worth is about 80 lakhs. I am struggling here with 2.5 crores of investment. There is no way I'm able to make 50, 60 lakhs or 80 lakhs. So stop comparing, and focus on yourself. And I'm sure sometime or the other sanity will return back. where manufacturing people will be respected, one, and people will be respected for having provided employment. People will be respected for having done value addition to the services, rather than people just buying and selling land or just investing in stock and sitting and waiting. That's about it, Mr. Vinay. I'll hand it
Yeah.
over to the next person.
Yeah, thank you so much. Over to Vanita, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, Vinay, and thank you, Business Standard and HMA for inviting me to this very, very relevant discussion today. While we are seeing the stress that MSMEs are being pressurized in this pandemic, what I would like to point out, something a little different from what my earlier speakers have spoken, is because MSMEs contribute to the nation's GDP. All of us know that. We also know that government is quite a big procurer of both products and services from MSMEs. Yet when government dictates terms to industry, saying that you should pay within so and so time, otherwise interest will be levied, you should not remove your staff during the pandemic, ensure that you pay wages, ensure that you do this, when they dictate that to the industry, whether it is large, medium, small, micro. On the other side, government doesn't practice what it preaches. And I see this personally. I run an industry which is 60-year-old. We are an analytical instrumentation industry. Elico is known to be a pioneer in the analytical instrumentation sector. And me not being an engineer yet running this should tell you that anybody who has that passion, as my previous speaker said, the passion to indulge in creating something that has a huge value add for your own nation speaks volumes. And sadly, I feel personally, this is my personal take, is that somehow government that never supports MSME. I mean, they do come out with all these policies, but the fine print ensures that
Your
less
Zoom
than
meeting in
10% of
progress అంటే నొక్కాలా నాకు అది కనిపించట్లేదు.
Please go on, sorry.
there is some cross. Yeah. So the policies that the government does come out are very good in name, but when it comes to execution and implementation, and that there is always a slip between the cup and the lip. If you look at it, less than 10% of the MSMEs actually enjoy these policies. The rest of them keep floundering because of some interpretation, some areas that the people who need to give those policies, execute those policies, are not able to convey that to the MSME, and in the prospect, the MSMEs actually lose out. If you look at most of the policies, also somehow I feel personally that we do not encourage a micro organization to move into the next level, into a small, for a small to become a medium, for a medium to become a large. If you look at the MSME sector, we have companies in this country that have languished in that particular segment for ages, for decades. Why? Because they take the comfort or the umbrella of what that policy says, and they would rather create 10, 15 more organizations under that umbrella rather than becoming into a larger player. So I would suggest that if government actually looks into these areas and understands these gaps. Now, sir was talking about NSIC. I know NSIC is an excellent organization that does support, especially the MSMEs, when we go, especially for public procurement by governments. And there is a line that says that if you are NSIC registered, you do not have to get into the EMDs and the security deposits and things like that. But very few state government departments or public sector enterprises actually accept it. They say, yes, that is the rule that government has laid, but does not mean that we have to implement it. So these sort of gaps, the interpretation of these gaps are one thing that the government needs to look into. There is another scheme by most of the banks where they talk about bills discounting. Unfortunately, none of the public sector banks agree to do a bills discounting if government is your client, is your buyer. If you have private industry, yes, then they don't mind, they will come, they'll discount, and then they will go ahead and get the amounts later on from this private clients. But if government is your buyer and government is your customer, they will just close their doors on you. Now, that is a sad fact because when government is a huge procurer of both products and services, and they should enable MSMEs to grow, especially in this pandemic. Because today, for a fact, governments both at the central level and at the state level are only skewing towards purchases on the health side, on the vaccines, on medical equipment. But what about the rest of the sectors? The rest of the sectors, the MSMEs do form quite a huge supply chain to a lot of larger industries, and that cycle needs to be completed. And unless government looks into the finer print, looks into what these issues are, and if there is some sort of a tangible outcome that governments need to look at when a policy is introduced, what is the tangible outcome that these policies have enabled? How many micro companies have become small, how many small have grown into medium, how many medium companies have grown into large? Only then, when there is a tangible result and there is a scorecard that government needs to look at itself, then they will understand the value of these policies that they come out so beautifully year on year. And one other area that I'm very passionate about is especially diversity in industry. And I'm a huge champion of women coming into most of the sectors, enabling them. But today, somehow, I feel the playing field is not level enough for women. Women, it's very difficult for them to get into better projects, into better mainstream industry. I know that there are a lot of women-oriented schemes, but I think that is still having a very, very old mindset, and those like it's sort of a more of a benevolent, okay, chalo, let's do something for these women, let's give them something, khadi, small scale, ghar ka, cottage ka. No, bring them into the mainstream also. Today, if you look at it, India has the highest percentage of women in STEM graduates. In fact, just 3 days ago, there was a newspaper article that said that India has 42% of graduates in the STEM, whether it's science, technology, engineering, or management or medicine. But is that reflected in industry? Sadly, no. And I think this is where that government needs to also walk the talk, ensure that the support that they are giving in terms of policies, they need a little bit more hand-holding to ensure that these things get executed and they become tangible outcomes. And that will definitely add to the nation's GDP. It'll improve the quality of life for everybody. Industry will start thriving. And I'm sure that most of the developed nations have helped their own industries. Sadly, in India, that is not happening. So this is just a few of my takes, and I'm happy to answer questions in the course of the program.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you so much. Over to Raghunathan, sir.
Good afternoon, friends. I become emotional when I talk of the plight of the MSME. Everything is uncertain today for an entrepreneur. How does an entrepreneur function? We first invest on infrastructure or machineries or capital. We borrow some money from the bank for a term loan, for a long term to repay, then a working capital for a month on month to buy materials and expenses and whatnot, to bridge the gap between the order value and the advance value. And then we buy materials, we manufacture, we deliver, we collect the payments, and we make a profit and we pay a tax. This chain is completely broken today. You ask any entrepreneur today, is he happy? The answer is painfully no. What is happiness? Happiness is just not making profit. Happiness is not just giving employment to the people. Happiness is not just making some product and a branding. Happiness comes from our day-to-day hard work being converted into an useful form of returns. And today, people are writing to me, talking to me, saying, I work for a few hours, but I worry for the rest of the hours in a day. Has somebody listened? Has somebody cared? Has somebody tried to address their pains? This is more serious. Today, the word MSME, in my opinion, need not be there. Because excepting 5,000 industries in this country, all others are MSME. The basket of MSME is like a khichdi. You don't know what vegetable is there inside. You can be a trader, you can be a manufacturer, you can be an exporter, you can be a service provider, you can be a software guy, you can be an IT IES, you can be a consultant. Now you can even be a hospital doctor. So the word MSME has now gone through a tremendous changes in its connotations. Who wanted? When the people are asking for oxygen to survive, both the RBI governor and the Ministry of Finance is giving them Horlicks. Is Horlicks bad for health? No, it is not. But provided you are alive. Otherwise, the Horlicks will remain only in the shelf. That is what happens. 3 lakh crore loan, no takers. It is called as emergency credit line. The word emergency went off because after first 3 months also, not even 30% were sanctioned. Out of that 50% only disbursed. So the word emergency automatically got cancelled. Then they enlarged beneficiaries. Is that the solution? Is the target is only to fulfill the numbers? When everybody wanted moratorium, the government gave restructuring plan. What a shame. The gap between the policy maker and the execution people at the grassroots level. What RBI wanted is different. What Ministry of Finance says is different. What the bank management says is different. What the bank manager at the branch level is saying is different. We have been fooling ourselves. We have been taken for a ride. How many realize? Gone are the soft days of pedaling. Because there are only 3 indications for the healthiness of an entrepreneur. One is his health. Today his health is gone. People are worried, suffocating, painfully living, not able to say their problems openly, not able to cry openly, not able to face their even family members and relatives. Then how will they face their staff? How will they face their employers, investors? How will they face their suppliers? Customers are not bothered. Take, for example, several self-employed people. Thousands and lakhs of the individual plumbers, carpenters, electricians lost their dues, which were to come from the corporates and things like that, which they were to do, because cycle was brought to a stoppage. Today, I don't have orders. If I have orders, I don't have materials. If I have materials and order, I don't have manpower. If I have materials, manpower and the order, I don't have cash flow. If I have all the 4, I don't have profit. Whether I have all this or not, tax have to be paid with the interest at 18%. Was there any relief? Was there anywhere a feeling for the entrepreneurs in this country? On one side, you hear a 4,000 crore, the shaving by the banker is to 400 crore settlement. An 80,000 crore, the shaving is coming to only 30,000 crore to settle. On one side, you see a bad bank. On one side, you see a bank which has cheated the public, has been taken over by another bank and taken care. the interests. Where is the entrepreneur? Open a newspaper. You see everywhere auction sale notice. Innovations are taken a backseat. Today, an entrepreneur is not able to concentrate on his core competence. The great startup enterprises have perished. For the sake of claiming few entrepreneurs here and there, they become unicorn or they become, the balloon is blown with an air inside. We don't know when the balloon will explode. The balloon is the entrepreneur. The air is the finance guy. They are simply blowing the air into the balloon till the extent it is swelling. Is that what you call the life of an entrepreneur? We are sad, my friends. We are sad. If at all you have a heart, next time when somebody from Zomato comes to your house to deliver something, ask him what is his education. And don't be surprised if he tells you he is an MTech student. Next time, if somebody from Swiggy comes on a three-wheeler as a physically challenged person, don't be surprised. Next time, if your child who has done her education, his education, comes to you and sits in the house without a job for 2 years, don't be sad. Next time, if any of your next generation talks about enterprises to stand on their own feet, you would not enjoy it. We have done that crime to the generations of entrepreneurs. There we have built great institution. MSME is a great institution. As I listened to Mr. Chandrasekhar, he said, yes, nook and corner of this country, we have the offices of MSME. If I show you a slide on the schemes of MSME, you will be surprised. Do we have such schemes? They have got some innovative schemes.
Yeah,
But-
actually, yeah. Sorry to interrupt you, sir. Actually, that brings me to a point where because even Chandrasekhar sir has also to leave for some important meeting at 4 o'clock, and we'll continue this discussion. But since
I told you on this subject, you will not be able to stop me unless you interrupt. I stop
No,
you
no.
because
No,
I
no.
speak from my heart. I
Yes,
weep for
absolutely.
the people. I keep
Absolutely.
myself as the voice of the voiceless.
Yes, sir.
So this is
Yes, sir.
my.
We'll
feeling.
continue this, but I want him to speak. And also the audience, if you can please share your questions on the chat. But for Chandrasekhar Garu, I have a specific question. First of all, from what Mr. Ramesh, from Miss Datla, and from Mr. Raghunathan, they are all shared. The specific woes of the MSME sector. How Mr. Ramesh talked about even if they go to buy raw material, if they want to invest, banks are showing equality, whereas equality is not needed. What is needed is, every situation, every need has to be taken care of uniquely, and all the other issues that even the other speakers have also brought in. So my specific question is, sir, you mentioned that there are so many policies that are already there there are already there so many policies, but many a times these MSMEs miss out, as even Ms. Datla has also mentioned, that many things gets lost in this processes. Only 10% of the MSMEs are able to make the most of it. So what is the remedy, from a government point of view? How can the MSME government dynamics change? How has it changed in the pandemic? How can it get better? And how can the MSMEs make the most of these of these policies going ahead? Not just in the pandemic, but going ahead. Yeah, sir.
Yeah, the issues raised by Raghunathanji is really relevant actually, and most of the issues are painful also. But things are like that now. From government side, I mean, this pandemic really, I think everybody has suffered a lot. MSMEs, I mean, their financial health is spoiled like anything, and there is a problem of delayed payment and logistics supply chain disrupted, and there are the trade issues. So many things are there. But government, both at the central government and state government level, have announced a lot of measures actually. And Atmanirbhar Bharat, the Prime Minister has announced a comprehensive stimulus and economic package, especially for MSMEs. Out of 15 measures he has announced, 7 measures are directly related to MSMEs. And most important is emergency credit line guarantee scheme. This is this is one of the important aspect of the Atmanirbhar Bharat, and 3 lakh crores has been earmarked for this emergency credit line guarantee scheme. And you'll be surprised to know banks have sanctioned almost 2.73 lakhs already. And releasing the demand, actually, government has announced another 1.5 lakh crore, putting I mean total allocation for this component will be around 4.5 lakh crores. And bankers, those MSMEs, businesses who are already up to 29th February 2020, those MSMEs who are having outstanding liabilities, 20% of that was given as a emergency credit line assistance. And bankers, I know many of the bankers, and I've seen their functioning also. They have sent messages, SMS messages. They've spoken to their clients, and they called the individual MSMEs also. In fact, we also assisted them. And most of the MSMEs got this emergency credit line. And from our ministry, especially, we have in the peak period of the COVID, we have launched. Actually, our Prime Minister has launched this control rooms, Champions Control Room. This control room is basically meant for assisting MSMEs in redressing grievances. This control room was set up under hub and spoke model. Hub was set up at the ministry level, which is directly under the control of the Secretary MSM. He is monitoring a hub from Delhi and the ministry. And there are 68 control rooms, state control rooms have been set up across in all the field level formations of the ministry. Like MSMDA we have, and I'm sitting in this Champions Control Room, state control room. And here we are, we are getting a lot of grievances through online portal, and we have been given time up to 72 hours to respond to grievances. And many state governments have also joined, indicated their grievance portal with our Champions portal. Even the public sector enterprises, bankers, central government departments, 17 central government departments have integrated their grievances portal with Champions portal. And we are working almost 12 hours in a day. Morning, there are 5 to 6 officers who are working the control room morning 8 to evening 8 o'clock, 12 hours, including Sunday. And I'll tell you one example. Recently, just 1 week back, taxi owners joint action committee have approached me actually. They are the most affected people, because transportation totally, their livelihood have gone. There are 35,000 owner come drivers in Telangana state itself under various associations. And this 1.5 year COVID period, almost they lost their livelihood, and they are not able to pay the EMIs. If their vehicle comes on the road, immediately there will be again mafia kind of thing. They'll seize the vehicle, and immediately they will vehicle will be taken away, and many people have died. And this incident has come to our notice. Champion Control Room, they have lodged a grievance, and I have taken initiative. And we had a meeting with the RBI, because this emergency credit line guarantee scheme should be applicable to even service sector also. But unfortunately, these people are neglected people. They don't know about this scheme, and bankers are also mostly these people. They take loans from the NBFCs. You know how they recover their money. They use mafias and gundas for collection of EMIs, and they seize the vehicles on the road itself. If a passenger is going on the road, they will ask the passenger to get down and take the vehicle. And people have died. Many taxi owners have died. And RBI has also responded. They were very sympathetic, and we are working with them, and hopefully there will be separate directions to NBFCs mostly, and bankers also, to give moratorium and restructuring of their loans. And this is a very small example. We are working individually also with associations and all. We're trying to help those MSMEs who are facing difficulty in getting finance. We are promoting 4 finance schemes actually. CGTMSE must be doing credit guarantee fund trust scheme, which gives loans up to 2 crores, and Mudra loans we have, then Stand Up India, then PMEGP, We have all help desks and we are helping the MSMEs in getting credit actually. And I mean, MSMEs, most of the MSMEs, and I mean, we have come to know through Champions Portal, Grievance Portal, they're facing delayed payment issues actually. And we have dedicated portal again, Samadhan portal. If any MS, basically, in any transaction, the between the buyer and seller, within 45 days, the amount should be released. Payment should be released to the seller actually. That is the norm generally. Beyond 45 days, if the payment is not released, the seller being MSE, they can approach by lodging a complaint, online complaint. Earlier, they used to they need to go to DIC. There is a MSE facilitation center in the state government has set up under MSME Act. They need to approach DIC and MSE facilitation center to lodge a complaint physically. But with this, with the launch of this online portal, Samadhan portal, sitting at home, you can lodge a complaint with all the details about the transaction. And within, I mean, the MSE Facilitation Council is having mandate to settle the dispute within 90 days. Within 90 days, they are supposed to redress a grievance. And MSE Facilitation Center is basically, it's a quasi judicial body. The decree given by MSE Facilitation Center is on par with the court judgment. And if they want to challenge this decree, again, it should be implemented through court of law by depositing three-fourths of the amount of the dispute amount in the court of law. So we are trying to help the people, and especially delayed payment is one of the biggest grievance we are getting. Every day, I think we get delayed payment issues and even credit issues also. We are addressing these issues through Champions Portal. And there is a separate tab in the Champions Portal. Raghunathan has said several things. And if he's having any constructive suggestions or ideas, he can submit in the Champions Portal. Government will examine the suggestions and ideas also. It goes to a notice of the directly Secretary MSME.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Ms. Datla, just coming to you with a very specific question. There's this pandemic, especially since you are from the health sector, we've seen that, in the pandemic, there have been some sectors like the health sector which have benefited, exceptionally compared to some other sectors. But irrespective of whichever sector that a particular MSME is, now, of course, Chandrasekhar Sargaro has mentioned about the government and how the government has been coming up with policies. But you also talked about how there is a gap. There is a gap in terms of the implementation and all. So as an MSME, while the pandemic has brought some benefits and the pandemic has brought some, specific challenges, from going after the pandemic, going from here after the pandemic, post pandemic, how can I as an MSME be self-reliant? How can I see to it that I do certain things to ensure that I am long-term sustainable, and that irrespective of whether I benefit from a particular scenario, particular crisis or not, how do I kind of, remain immune? Yeah.
So thank you, Vinay. I think the answer to your question is, I think every MSME entrepreneur would definitely look for that magic formula. If one had a magic formula like that, tell me, even I'm willing to follow it. Unfortunately, the reality is much, much different. It is very difficult for an MSME entrepreneur to actually carve out a strategy which will help that company to sustain and to remain. And that's the reason why MSME sort of have stagnated at those levels. Otherwise, they would have become today. Why don't we have those multi-billion-dollar corporations like the developed countries have? Why don't we have a Facebook or a Google or a Microsoft or an Apple? Why are we not able to do that? I mean, just look at that itself. I mean, I always feel, why are we not able to support our own industry within the country itself? The respect that an entrepreneur actually should get is not being given, definitely in any of the forums. I mean, whatever Chandrasekhar sir has been talking about, it is very nice on the policy level, but implementation, it is absolutely minimal. I mean, I've gone to the Champions portal last year. We had a project that we had to deliver to the government of Orissa. Unfortunately, what happened is we had actually provided mobile soil testing vans to the government of Orissa, their agricultural department. So I'm actually taking names here. So you can also verify this, sir. What happened is March 22nd, the lockdown came into force. We were not able, and most of the vehicles were actually en route to the state and they got stopped because of the lockdown. Now, what happened is March 31st, I think the Motor Vehicle Act had banned the version 4 vehicles, those vehicles that did not comply with the next section of the pollution. And because of the lockdown, we were unable to register it. Now, what happened is during the course of the period, the department said that because the government is not allowing us to register it, and there was a huge tussle between the Department of Motor Vehicles and the Agricultural Department. And in the process, we got stuck. Our money didn't come to us. And then the department said, we'll cancel the order. And this is after having delivered everything there. So we did actually put this up in the Champions portal. Champions portal said that this belongs to the Department of Motor Vehicles, which is not within our ambit, and therefore we cannot do anything to help you. Now, if government itself, no central state departments are fighting with themselves, and ultimately we are the losers, we have lost almost 7 to 8 months' time in trying to recover our dues. Who else do we go and talk to? I mean, everything that sir was telling, I could find a lot of holes in those areas. When it comes to implementation, when it comes to execution, so any policy that the government, that the MSME department has come out, I would request the department to take out a random sample across the nation from all MSMEs across every state, ask them what have they faced, ask them what have they gone through with the implementation of that policy. Those answers should help you to recalculate, to regauge your policy. Otherwise, there was always going to be that gap between the cup and the lip is going to become bigger. And that is not going to help us. So Vinay, the question that you asked me is, post the pandemic, what do we do? It is going to be very difficult for us to even survive this the next 6 months, 8 months, and to come to some sort of a stability. Post that, we will definitely have to understand how to act in this environment and ensure that we don't fall into those traps.
Sure. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. But continuing this same, the gaps about implementation and the challenges, specific challenges that Datla ma'am shared, Vanita ma'am shared. Mr. Ramesh, a question for you. That you have been a banker. You've been from that industry, that sector as well. You touched upon a little bit about how the MSMEs could maybe counteract against the inflationary trends by increasing the raw material inventory and so on. What are some of the other safeguards that these MSMEs could take, and what are those specific funding challenges, especially that we are also facing currently in this pandemic, and we could go on to face going forward as well, because as Vanita ma'am mentioned, even the next 6 to 8 months seems a bit grim for all of us. So how could the MSMEs, what challenges, specific challenges could they go on to face from here on as well? But what are some safeguards that they could take as far as funding challenges are concerned?
Okay. Again, I will restrict myself to one of the most important things called funding, the money. Like what blood is for a human body, that's what money is for an organization, without a doubt. And the cheapest cost of funds today is either from a creditor who is willing to supply it without any cost, which is very, very rare, or a banker whose primary purpose is to encourage growth of small and medium scale industries. Unfortunately, most public sector banks today or even private sector banks are willing to help and support only those people who are strong, not the people who need funds. Okay. And there is no action being taken against any public sector bank officer or anybody from MSME or anybody from the commercial taxes department, that is the GST, or anybody from any department for their inaction. Most of the times what happens is inaction is what causes us all the pain. I might have approached a bank with a small requirement, just like what Vanita ma'am said. This is a specific place where my inventory is stuck up. Please look at funding this for a period of 1 year. Maybe Vanita madam would have easily survived because they are capable of doing it. Most small scale industries will not be able to survive that much. Most small scale will not be able to survive. I have had such cases where my truck had stopped outside a government organization because of lockdown for 2 months, 1.5 months. He says, lockdown, I cannot take the material in. But nobody is willing to hold them accountable, saying, no, whether lockdown or no, take the material in, acknowledge receipt, and then process it. There is no place that I can go to for a grievance. If I go to any sector for a grievance, all they will say, it is not my department, please go to someone else. They are specialized in the expertise of not doing things and giving a satisfactory reason for not doing it. My point of saying is the bank, the MSME bank which is supporting the industry, people should have the flexibility to support them fully and every case to be handled differently within a parameter. And if any inaction is happening, some action should be taken on the person who is not acting. That is the only thing as such. If that flexibility is given, accountability is given, rightness is given, to actually happen. And one of the most important things, I'm talking only in inflationary times, where the price of raw material is going up month on month, month on month, month on month. I'm not talking stocking perpetually, because it won't serve a purpose. When the inflation rate is almost about 12 to 14% and your cost of borrowing is 7%, you will make more money just stocking material. It's obvious. When inflation is much higher than your cost of funds, you should stock material, wait for the price to go up, sell and be happy. That's all making money is about. And most important thing I said, I don't know how we can educate all what the future policy and direction of the government has to be educated to MSME sectors. See, in a small scale industry, I am the technical guy, I am the finance guy, I am the economics guy, I am the market guy. The buck stops here. There's no way I can learn all the skills together. But at least government should be able to give a direction of what the fund flow is going to be for the next 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. So the best point of contact is the bank. Bank cannot be just a bank who is giving money as such. It can be a point of contact who can write to different departments saying, this is what it is, you please take it forward. Hold them accountable, sir. Here there is no accountability for people who have not done their work. Because there is no way I have seen a bank official or somebody being fired for not having done their work. Okay, for doing a wrong piece of work, they'll be fired. Like I have to get a GST VAT refund of almost about 1.33 crores for the past 10 years. There is no way I'm going to get it. It just kept on going from one department to another, to another, to another. It's just going all around. Ultimately, I have not got it. For having made the investment, for having gone forward as such, there's no place that I can go and seek relief. Whoever I talk to in the panel, they'll tell them, it is not my department, you ask. Yes. Initially expansion done, then after it became VAT, after VAT it became GST, now nobody even cares. So that the point is, I don't know if I've answered the question correctly, but focus on your money, finances, see the trends, monitor it. And if the bank is the only contact with whom you can reach out to, for them to reach out for a specific MSME sector, I think that will be a good thing as such.
Sure.
Thank
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Mr. Raghunathan, you have, been part of some very, larger associations, industry associations of MSME, and you've conducted a lot of surveys, grassroots surveys. Now, please, if you can enlighten us a bit on uh, one or two, very, you talked about the oxygen. So what really in terms of the oxygen is needed among these
1 minute.
SMEs? Yeah. Hello.
Mr. Vinay, 1 minute. Chandrasekhar Garu is leaving, so.
Who is it? Okay. Sure. Yeah.
Just,
Yeah.
we thank you, sir, for being here, and his coach would be here to continue along with us. So thank you, sir. We look forward long-standing support from your end, sir. Thank you so much for being with
Nata ma'am, I
us.
have noted down the grievance, the issue you are raising actually.
Yes,
You
sir.
raised an issue.
Why don't we promote
Bring it to
local
police, I'll,
purchases?
bring it to right to us, madam, because you are neighbor. You are Eliko.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please write to us, and definitely we look into it.
Sir, that problem then finally got resolved. We had to go to Supreme Court, and then Supreme Court gave a ruling, and after that, another 3 months, then the government took to pay us. But
This is Bharat
sir,
stage.
it's really
Yeah.
very, very difficult to do business with government. So that is one thing I can tell you. Very difficult to do business with government.
Yeah.
That's the reason today, sir. All the IT sector who do import, they do export business, they are the only ones who are surviving really well. And of course, you have the health sector. Apart from that, everybody else, the manufacturing is really, reeling under the pressure.
Yeah, okay. Ma'am, one more issue I think you raised. NSSC, actually, it is applicable to only central government departments, not the state government. NSS is applicable to.
Please ensure that, yeah. So see, when you make a policy, sir, central government cannot be different from state government. Please ensure that the state government departments also follow the central government departments.
Basically, madam,
Otherwise, why an NSIC?
Industry is a state subject, and central government only facilitates, and we cannot step into the state government role, madam, because most of the activities are done by state government. Our role is basically primarily to supplement the role of the state government in promoting industries and facilitating industries, and we cannot step into state government role. But anyway, madam.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I understand, sir. So we look at all those gaps is where MSME is falling into those gaps. You have to understand that. Yeah.
I suggest one thing, madam.
Thank you, sir.
And on the champion, there's a tab I was telling you. You just give your suggestion. Definitely, we'll look into it.
Sure. Thank you, sir.
My offices will be available in this program, and grievances, anything is there, I think they will respond even to mail us. No issue. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you. So yeah, over to Mr. Raghunathan. Sir, while all this is happening, you've been conducting a lot of grassroots surveys, and you've been coming out with reports. If you can just enlighten us, with couple of dire need that right now the MSME is, and what really could the government, one or two things, how has been your representations with the government, and what could those couple of things be that could really help right now immediately for the MSME sector? Sir.
Okay. The survey what we did recently across the country, we had about 81,000 people responding to it. And the survey was divided into three components. One is, how is the people feeling today? We found that, did you use the stimulus package? Were you happy with the support what you're getting from the central and state government? Did you pay salaries of the people, or have you reduced the staff in the company in the last 2 years? These kind of questions. Pathetic, the answer. So we know the answer, so let me not talk about the answer. The second point was, what is that the pain points of the entrepreneur? The pain points was divided into three aspects. One is money, manpower, and material. On the money front, we had listed out certain needs of them, which is like loan, pending payments, credit for raw material, interest waiver, one-time settlements, capital gains tax waiver, penalties, late fee waiver. This was what we had asked the people to list out on priority basis. And here, the surprising thing was 64% of the people were actually wanting loans. Either they applied, they got sanctioned, but the money is not coming in their hand, or they are not told what to do. All these, they are genuinely want the loans to run the industry, but they have not got the access to run the industry. Then close to almost about another 64% of the people wanted waiver of the interest, because they said it is not my fault to have been closed. You closed us to save others. So at least give me a waiver on the interest part of it, so that I am able to continue my journey in recouping myself. None of this was done. Then on the material aspects, with respect to the material, we share it with 5 different aspects. One is on the high price. Second is on the supply in short notices. Third was on supply in smaller quantities. Fourth was quality assurances. Fifth was reduction in the GST and the customs duty. Again, 58% of the people wanted the government to intervene and control the mafia or the cartel or the people holding the materials and then fleecing the entrepreneurs from the prices, using their desperateness. All this were happening. Then coming to the staff manpower. Today the problem is what? We are not able to get employable manpower. Today general managers and vice presidents are easy to get. Workers are not possible to hire. Skilled laborers are not available. The skill what I want is different. The skill what they are taught is different. The skill what you needed for running your industry is different. There is a skill development ministry. There is all people, all schemes, everywhere it is there. All we talk only in numbers. We should first stop cheating ourselves. We should first talk facts, and then only this country will prosper. Otherwise, we are just artificially talking something which has got no relevance. We talked about migrant labor problem almost now 1.5 years back. Have we done anything? People have, some of them, about 34% of them have come back to the work. In the same place or some other place, they have come back from their native place. What is the changes they have seen? Is there any hostel for them? No. Is there any food for them? No. If the second wave comes, what do they do? Third wave comes, what they do? No care, no. We'll simply again watch, no. We will only talk about schemes and names and whatnot, but we are not really interested, no. Then we came out with the suggestions. We said what is needed is 3 aspects. One is first divide the entrepreneur, somebody who does not want to run further, they want to close. Then treat them differently and give them an honorable exit. There can be 100 reasons for their not wanting to run. They might have been impacted by COVID also. Their health may not have permitted. Their business must have gone out of shape. So they don't want to continue. So they give them an honorable exit. Then somebody who is impacted only because of the lockdown condition, they can recover provided some relief is given till they come back to the originalities. Give them a different relief. Then the third aspect is those who are not impacted. They want to expand, they want to come out with new things. This is how we have to address. But what did we do? We came out with one tablet for any disease. Even if he is in deathbed also, the same vitamin tablet we will give. So there is no doctors. We are missing the doctors. Neither there is a person to listen to the patient, nor there is a doctor, but there is somebody who comes and says there is no problem. Everybody is happy. Everybody is fantastic. V-shaped recovery, K-shaped recovery. Global economy is coming down. India is in the fastest track. Where am I seeing it? Why am I not seeing it? Wherever I talk, whatever I talk, whomever I meet, they are only crying within me, not openly. What is this? This is where the problem was. So we identified 52 sectors which were totally impacted only because of the government lockdown condition. So in order to save one eye, you have pierced the other eye and there is no remedy. What is this? And you talk about GST increases. Obviously, you will have GST increase only when you have taxes on the medical care. And this is what we had given. We had broken down the suggestions into 3 aspects. We said protect, exempt, and support. When I say protect, it is nothing else. Protect the startup to get incentive to survive, protect from the high interest burden, protect from onslaught of price war, protect ever rising price raw material cost, fear of becoming MPA, losing employees for not able to provide continuous work, penalties and late fees. Protect the SMBs, exempt them. from statutory compliances for at least next 6 months, and ask them to not to take any penal action and delayed submission due to disruptions, litigations and punishments. Then support them with liberal loan. Please don't see eligibility and give. Please see their past credentials. Please see their business models. Please see their financials and then give them. The moment you put standard accounts as of 31st of March 2021 only will be eligible for restructuring, it is just like fooling the people. It is like giving a plantain which is only wax made, not really made. It looks like a plantain from far for a photograph, but it cannot be eaten. This is what is called fooling around. Then clear all the pending payments, state government, PSU, central government, state undertaking, corporate, medium companies. Then offer moratorium without interest by not declaring MPF for next 12 months. Otherwise, CRISIL rating is killing, CIBIL rating is killing, past performance demand is killing. Bankers, if you keep 5 rupees for some other purpose also, they will take it away to adjust your loan. This is killing. People don't know where to go. We may have several portals. Mr. Chandrasekhar was talking, I did not want to interfere. I have spoken to his own secretary. I have spoken to the minister. My connections are tremendously higher. I serve as a joint secretary level in the board of EPFO. I talk like this even in the parliamentary people committees. So what is that happening? They all acknowledge, but then they don't understand the theory. Problems of an entrepreneur is entirely different. Problem of a professionally driven companies are entirely different. Problem with the foreign companies are entirely different. Somebody makes 5-year plan. Somebody, it's like a cricket match. It's a 5-day match. It is a 50-over match. It is a 20-over match. For an entrepreneur, every ball he has to score. Today he is living like last 7 balls, 70 runs to score. How will he score? So it is hit out or get out. Now this is what is happening. Now no patience to listen, no patience to even hear. We have done all the studies, all sorts of submissions have been given. I have personally given to many people, but I can share it with all of you. I have given my number in the chat box. Please send me a message in WhatsApp. I'll give you the survey report. You have a look at it. Today, there is a report which has come in parliamentary with a question asked about my mega survey, and there is an answer. That also I will give you. But revolution has to happen to safeguard entrepreneurs in this country. Please join a movement. I have started a movement to protect the face of the entrepreneurs in this country. Join a movement fearlessly. This is not for you, but it is for our next generations. This is all is my request.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing the results of the survey. And I can see that many are relating with the findings. We have some raised hands, so I'm now keeping it. It's very less time we have, but I'm opening it up for the audience. I believe Mr. Sandeep and Mr. Rajesh Bartula, they have raised their hands. They have any questions? Would you like to unmute and ask, or would you like to just put your questions in the chat? You can quickly do that. We might have to close in the next 5-10 minutes. Please go ahead.
This is Rajesh here.
Yeah.
My question is to Mr. Raghunandan or Ramesh. Anybody can answer, or Vanita madam, any of them.
My name is Raghunathan.
Raghunathan sir, sorry. Yeah.
Thank you.
It is again the same thing. See, MSMEs have got their own challenges. Wonderfully spoken by each and every panel member today. Shows their experience and the practical problems we have been undergoing. See, one of the greatest things what MSME small timers look for are opportunities over and above what they are actually doing. Marketing is a big challenge. As Ramesh said, we are all in one basket. I am the boss, I am the helper, I am the cleaner, I am the financer, I am the marketing, I do everything. See, when we attend forums of where government calls us for, participating and saying that, you have an opportunity to go through public sector as a woman entrepreneur or a small industries. We have seen in paper for the last 10 or 15 years, I have made so many attempts to go there. But the moment we, download the application from any of the government or public sector undertakings, the questions are such that you'll never qualify to be part of them. So is there any way where the forum can take it forward to see that the real MSMEs are helped together to get some share of the business. Otherwise, everything goes only to the big people. That's what bigger becoming bigger, smaller always remaining where they are and struggling with the day to day. So anybody can answer this.
So I just want to make one comment on this. What I always feel is that policymakers do not understand entrepreneurial pain because they have not walked that path. So probably we need entrepreneurs sitting on those policy making forums for them to actually understand and empathize and then come out with realistic policies.
Because a simple example, about 4 years back, we had an opportunity to participate for a private organization that was through Sujana, where they were doing contracting work for BHEL. So they said, if at all you have to supply to us, you have to get approval from BHEL. So when we went with the process of going with the BHEL Hyderabad, ultimately they say it is not from BHEL Hyderabad because we are supplying to BHEL Trichy, you have to get from BHEL Trichy. Whereas I would assume all BHELs are one. So you see, you can imagine the turmoil or the pain that we undertake, and ultimately, it never happened. But you see, that's what I'm saying. We are always stuck up at the first step.
True, true. Thank you so much for raising that issue. So, and I believe
Thank you for the opportunity.
so. Yeah.
Well,
Mr. Sandeep.
Yeah, well, thanks,
Yeah.
Vinayji. I have one question to you and to the rest of the panelists.
Yeah.
Raghunandan ji. I just want to make sure whether you will be able to report all these grievances what we have been discussing here.
Yeah.
We need your. I hope you report this.
Yeah, I mean there'll be a report, but I'm not sure how much we'll be able to cover. But at the same time, we do keep reporting, regional and local issues, especially industry issues, as much as possible. As far as this event is concerned, it will be reported, but I'm not sure, if we'll be able to
Not sure
encompass
that
everything.
Definitely, event would be reported. I'm worried about the grievances raised, the voices.
Exactly. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. And sir, the other question is concerning the political backlash of the Chinese across the world. Everybody is speaking that there is a good chance, fair chance for Indian companies. If that is true, what do you think we should concentrate on? Number one, or number two, number three?
This question is for Mr. Raghunathan, right?
Yes, Mr. Nagarajan.
Brother, please repeat, brother. I
Sir,
was receiving WhatsApp messages, so I was sending them the report. Please repeat, brother.
Sure, sir. I understand there's a political backlash across the world with regard to Chinese government and China. And in that context, everybody are of the opinion, and there are few reports, and there are many rating agencies. I'm a credit rating consultant, so I follow rating agencies. So even one of the directors of rating agencies kept saying that there is a chance for Indian companies to come up to the global competitive advantage. If that is true, what do you think we should concentrate on? Number one, number two, or number three?
I really haven't got the question because today the house is on fire for an entrepreneur. Today his duty is to save himself. As I told you, I am categorizing the people, okay? I have been advocating to people. If you are above 60 age and if you don't have next generation to continue with your business, please wind up immediately and sit in your house and relax your retired age. If you are between 50 and 60, don't borrow any further money. Even if somebody voluntarily calls you, it is more like stealing your kidney. Don't increase your commitment. Do to the extent what you can do for the next 10 years and retire. If you are between 40 and 50, take only the additional loans which are secured by the government and then live your life. Modify your business strategy, go into multiple businesses, merge yourself with like-minded entrepreneurs, make it little bigger than what one-man show companies will have to vanish, and we should become multiple entrepreneur-driven companies. And if you are between 30 and 40, right and left to borrow money. Do whatever you want. There is no problem. It is like you have to survive. You have no choice. Don't worry about the future because 60 to 70% of the entrepreneur will die in the next 1 year automatically. Then there will be less players. You have the age, you have the courage, you have the risk-taking ability. Swim. So this is what is the prescription I would give to an entrepreneur. Don't expect anything from the government. Don't expect anything more from the Chinese. Don't expect vaccination to cure your diseases. Don't expect any of this. Believe in yourself, act yourself. You are alone battler. You will always fight the life alone. That is why you are an entrepreneur. One door closes, we open 100 doors. If 100 door closes, we will open 1,000 doors. We will 1,000 door closes, we will not open any door, but we will open a new house. So don't worry. This is all what I can advocate, brother.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. I believe Chaitanya Sai has a question. You've raised your hands, but this will be a last question, if at all.
So Uday, I might need to drop off as I have another meeting starting off soon.
Oh,
So
is it? Okay,
thank
okay.
you so much.
Thank you
Yeah,
so
yeah.
much
So sorry about-
for being with us. We extend our warm gratitude on behalf of Hyderabad Management Association and on behalf of Business Standard. Thank you so much for taking out time and sharing your valuable inputs. I believe Mr.
Thank you for having
Kavita
me.
ma'am has something to
Yes.
share. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Vanita.
Okay,
It was really quite insightful experiences and the pain points you have really focused well. And really, as an SME, as an MSME, we are all going through the same phase as what you have articulated. Thank you so much. And let's
I
make
hope
it
that
happen.
we survive when we come back next year, maybe for a repeat of this performance of this
No,
program.
what I
maybe.
mean, as you rightly said, policy making, I think an MSME has to be there. So I think you should take the lead role to be and make that happen. Thank you.
Hopefully. Thank you. Thank you so much. And
Thank
thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yeah. So one last question, Chaitanya. Do you have a question?
Yes, sir. Yeah, good evening, sir.
Good evening, Chaitanya.
So, yeah, Ramanand, sir, what you have spoke, that is a hats off, sir. Because the realistic problem I have facing from past 2 years, especially from the banking sector.
Chaitanya, you are young. Please go right, left, and center and borrow money. And be in the business. Don't quit the business.
No,
Okay.
no, I am not quitting the business, sir. I am not quitting any business like that. But my heartful pain is I have wasted the last 2.5 years just for the borrowing sector. Just 2 years. I have tried in MSc and I got the certificates from 4 certificates in MSc. And I am in the business of every manufacturing. And already we had a tremendous talent in manufacturing. So, what it has been going like? I have applied for the PMEGP. Like Chandrasekhar sir told, like Madras PMEGP, CDA, MNC, like that. I have applied for the PMEGP in last 2 years. And the last year it has been uploaded. Till now I didn't get any. Till now. And continuously, nearly 20 details I have changed. Nearly I have changed 20 details. For the lack of 9.5 lakhs. Recently, last month I have borrowed from my one of the colleagues and ex-friends.
Yeah, Mr.
Now we
Chan,
are establishing the unit.
it to us,
Yeah.
you know, we are at Narsapur Crossroads, Balanagar. We will try to take it up with the financial institution.
Where, ma'am?
I'm Sumati, Assistant Director from MSME Development Institute, Narsapur Crossroads, Balanagar.
Okay.
They are from
Yeah, I
Hyderabad.
know, ma'am. Yes, yes. I am not from Hyderabad, ma'am. I am from Andhra Pradesh. But I have been trained in Balna under the director of KRO.
Your PMEGP application is for Telangana.
No, it's for Andhra Pradesh.
You just write it to us, or we have sent you the email ID. Just write it to us. We'll try to take it up with the financial institution.
Yeah, ma'am. I have read around 3 to 4 months ago, ma'am. Just I have dropped a mail in right 3 to 4 months ago.
To us?
No. For for Balana. to
our
the
office.
MS Media.
Your office.
My
Anyways,
office at Hyderabad. Yeah.
anyways, sir, please drop in again tomorrow. Just put us an email tomorrow. We'll try to see what it is and we'll contact you back.
Okay, ma'am.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. On behalf of Chandrasekhar sir, thank you for taking this up as well. We conclude the event here, and just to summarize, we have seen some real, grassroots, issues that have come up, and we saw how, the MSMEs, while on one hand they have to, it seems that they have to fend for themselves, but on the other hand, it also seems that there are policy gaps which needs to be addressed from the government side, and at the same time, there's not a one single pill, there's not a one single vitamin, there's not one single tablet that needs to be given to all MSME sector. There's not one size fits all response that's there. The government has to come up with specific responses, specific policies for specific types of MSMEs, for the specific types of needs and requirements that these sectors have, because all are in different stages, all are in different seasons of their business, and each need a different kind of remedy. And such policies, I liked what Ms. Datla also talked about, how we need entrepreneurs in government to come up with entrepreneur centric policies, and I believe MSMEs should look at that, how we can, MSMEs can have more representation in the government to come up with MSME centric policies. So thank you so much once again for all our speakers. Mr. Chandrasekhar is not there, but a warm gratitude from all of us to him. A warm gratitude to Raghunathan sir. A very warm gratitude to Mr. P. Ramesh sir, and a very warm gratitude to Vanita Datla ma'am. Thank you so much for taking out time. Thank you so much for putting up all those issues, all those pain points, and also suggesting us some moves, some remedies that the MSMEs could take. The journey doesn't stop here. We hope that Hyderabad Management Association and Business Standard, we would continue to come up with such events to take it further, to take these issues further, to hopefully come up with more responses. Over to HMA from.
Thank you, sir. I would request Ravi Kumar Jain Garu to please propose vote of thanks on behalf of HMA.
Thank you, Kavita Garu. Today's esteemed speakers, many thanks for such a vibrant talk. Very, very specifically to Raghunathan sir, where his passion for SMEs and bold advice bordering on to being radical is well appreciated. In the sense, you have given a dose of, I would say, a booster in terms of energy and motivation. Go ahead and do it. There are problems, the house is on the fire, but it is the challenge is up to you to come out as a winner. I think the session was very informative. Ms. Datla spoke about several aspects which are challenges and perhaps potholes which MSMEs succumb to many a times for lack of information, or sometimes not knowing where to go, whom to approach for remedy. Ramesh Garu, thank you so much for your insightful talk. And I see that MSME Development Institution is in fact forthcoming to provide a solution. Even while we were talking, they said, someone asked a question, he said, your problem can be solved, you just come and meet us tomorrow. I think Vinay, this is a beginning of a interesting, I would say, partnership between Business Standard and HMA. HMA, in fact, this year's theme itself says management resilience, and the word resilience has been emphasized. And the idea is to promote this idea of resilience through impact, innovation, and globalization. And we are working at HMA on all three fronts, and would invite all the speakers and champions of MSMEs to be part of HMA. Business Standard to partner with us, and let us conceive a series of talks where each pain point can be in fact taken. I would appreciate if Ramesh ji and Raghunathan ji can actually, some of these points which they have eloquently articulated here can be noted down, in each point deserves to be, discussed in depth. And the passion that Raghunathan ji brought in actually should be there in every forum, because that's what bring in, kind of energy and also impact that HMA is desiring to bring about for SME. Thank you so much. We all enjoyed this session.
Can I say one more thing, Ravi?
Yes, please.
Friends, whoever is listening here, I assure you, my shoulders you can lean on. My hands will wipe your tears. I wound up my business 2 years back only to dedicate my life for the cause of entrepreneurs. And you can be rest assured, I have nothing to fear in my life. I have no expectation from anybody in my life. God has made me to be the happiest man in this life, and I want everybody to be like me, happiest. And you be rest assured, my number I have shared in the chat box. Please send me a WhatsApp message. I am with you. Your voice will be heard, and I am a fighter.
Now we know where the passion is coming from. Thank you so much, and we'll see you again in one more forum of HMA and Business Standard. Thanks, Vinay.
Thank you.
We'll continue the conversation on this.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Vinay
everyone.
ji. It was wonderful.
Thank you, Kavita
session.
ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Ramesh, and thank you, MSMEDI, and thank you, madam. It was quite insightful for us today. We look
Thank
for
you.
long-standing association with all of you. Thank you so much.
I would like to thank Pooja, who has reached out to
Pooja.
us. Yeah, she was the first person to reach out to us. Thank you, Pooja, for
Pooja. Yes.
ensuring that there is a relationship between MSME and HME and Business Standard.
We thank our CEO for connecting with all of you also. Thank you so much.
So we can
call. You
Can
can
I
call off
end
the
this
meeting, Geeta.
meeting?
Thank you.
Yeah. We can call off the meeting. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
madam.
you.
I'm ending the meeting.
So thank you.